Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my IWN Wrestling News and Gaming YouTube channel. I am IWN's very own Brennan, and I am here live with your AEW Dynamite review. This is your May the 12th, 2021 AEW Dynamite review. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. I am still on the road to 400 subscribers, but also on the road to 1,000. I still got a long way to go. I am still on the road to 300 followers on Twitter. So if you're new to my Twitter account, please hit that follow button. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new to my Twitch channel, hit the follow button on there as well. And you can also add me and follow me on various of social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and all that other stuff. Folks, this is going to be an old school review. It's going to be my usual AEW Dynamite review that I do every week without an intro. I'm hoping the AEW game will come out so I can do a review, so I can start doing my AEW Dynamite and AEW pay-per-view reviews on there instead of going live on here to do my AEW review. Hopefully. I'm hoping the AEW game will come out this year, because I can't wait for that. I'm ready for that. Been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that AEW game to come out for the PS4 and 5 for a while now. And I'm sure you all AEW fans and WWE fans have waited for that too. Now, with all that being said, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started with the review, because I really want to get this out the way as much as possible. Just because it was a good show. Just because I enjoyed it. Now, JR introduces us to the show as Yuji Nagata makes his way to the ring. The Iwgp US champion, Jon Moxley, is accompanied by Eddie Kingston. They're out next with some snazzy new music, Wild Thing by the Trogs. So we got Jon Moxley, the IWGP US Championship match. We got Jon Moxley versus Nuji Nagata. So here's what went down with this match between the two. So we had strikes back and forth to start the match. And Nagata whipped into the corner and powers out before Moxley can do anything. Nagato drops Moxley with a big boot, and Moxley rolls out of the ring. Moxley hits a thumb to the eye, and then we got Moxley hitting a driving knee strike off the apron and throws Nagata into the barricade. Moxley hits forearms and a snapmare, and let's get some more people in here, please. Please and thank you. I really appreciate it. I love to have a bunch of audience in here when I'm reviewing, especially if I'm reviewing NXT, AEW, and Raw, SmackDown. I love to have a bunch of audience in the live chat. Anyways, Moxley hits a forearm and a snapmare into a kick to the chest and an elbow drop for a 2 count. I get a sip of this drink, man. Throat's getting real dry again. Moxley hits a kick to the chest. We got Nagata asking for more. Moxley hits one more kick and goes for the cover for a 2 count. Nagata hits a chop and kicks to the chest and forearms in the corner, whips Moxley in the corner, and he hits an exploder suplex for a 2 count. Nagata hits a low drop kick to Moxley. He teases off Moxley with kicks to the chest. And then Moxley asks for more. forearms back and forth. Moxley hits a German suplex and hits a huge lariat to get a 2 count. Moxley goes for a power driver, but Nagata backdrops Moxley. Nagata hits a high knee in the corner. And then we got Nagata hitting an avalanche exploder suplex from the top. Moxley kicks out of a pin attempt at 2. Moxley locks in a sleeper. Nagata escapes and locks in an armbar. So then Moxley gets to the ropes. After that, Moxley hits forearms to Nagata, and Nagata fights back and hits a big boot and a enziguri. We got Moxley hitting a lariat and locks in the bulldog choke. And then we got forearms back and forth. And then we got Moxley with knee strikes, and he hits the pentagram shift to get the victory. Not sure if I said that right or not, but oh well. Now, my thoughts on this match. It was not bad at all. This was a hell of an opener to start tonight's AEW Dynamite. This was a great opening to AEW Dynamite. It was a great way to start AEW Dynamite, man. This match was this Iwgp United States Championship match. It was incredibly physical with hard-hitting strikes from all in a potentially broken nose from Moxley. It was everything you would expect. And added to a big fight atmosphere, aided by Moxley's electric entrance to Wild Thing and Nagata's first appearance on TNT in 2 decades, and you had a phenomenal presentation to kick off the show. Now, this had nothing to do with anything ongoing storylines and was allowed to be exactly what it was, only helped its overall quality. Now, it was yet another example of that forbidden door being kicked in, and wrestlers from different promotions, styles, and backgrounds, and I did say that, I did mention that on Twitter, being able to showcase themselves on a major cable TV production. Now, above all, to be honest, it allowed Moxley to showcase a side of himself we haven't always had the opportunity to see Wednesday nights on Dynamite. And that was really good. So we got Moxley showing respect to Nagata and bows to him. Nagata bows back, and Moxley raises Nagata's hand. Commentary runs down the card. Marvis is with the Inner Circle. Ortiz says they had them beat last week. MJF showed his true colors by throwing Jericho off the cage. MJF got Santana arrested for using the fork last week. Hager says they can say what they want. Pinnacle lost last week. Sammy demands a rematch. Cody Rhodes makes his way to the ring for his big announcement. We had a commercial break. Back live. Cody is in the ring and says being proud to be an American is out of style. But he is proud to be an American, says Anthony Goga. Has talked down America. Yet still has an American visa and collect the green ring to collect the great ring. He talks about division. Cody says the argument is what makes us who we are. Empathy outweighs anger. Anthony didn't come here to live the English dream. Cody says there is so much to love here. For instance, Bruno Sammartino says his wife will give birth to a beautiful black and white identity and will shun neither. He will fight for the American identity. He will fight back at Double or Nothing. The show will be at full capacity, and on that night, it will be Anthony Ogogo versus the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Video package for SCU. SCU say they have been betrayed by the Young Bucks. SCU have everything to lose and everything to gain. If they lose, they will retire as a team. SCU makes their entrance champions. Young Bucks are out next, accompanied by Don Callis and the Good Brothers. Crowd chant, "You sold out." Callis joins commentary. Got the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Young Bucks versus SCU. Cause and Nick start the match. Cause gets a headlock, snapmare takedown. Nick gets a slap across the face and runs out of the ring. Cause hits a palantra of kicks. Daniels tags in. Cause hits a net breaker. Matt runs in but gets hit with a suplex. Cause hits a leg drop for a 2 count. And a double team offense from SCU. Daniels thrown out of the ring. The Bucks hit a clothesline to Cause. Matt hits a baseball slide to Daniels. Matt hits a power bomb on the apron. Nick hits a senton from the apron. The Young Bucks dominate. The Bucks fake a tag while the ref's back is turned. Nick chokes Daniels on the ropes. Nick chokes Daniels on the ropes. Daniels hits an STL. He hits an STO. So once Daniels hit the STO, he tags in Cause. Cause hits a forearm. Diving elbow strike. Scoop slam into a pin for a 2 count. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to get my stuff right here. Daniels tags in and hits a stomp from the top. SCU hits a double team powerbomb neckbreaker. SCU hits celebrating rehab on Matt, who rolls out of the ring. So we got Cause hitting a leg drop across the back of the head on Nick. Nick hits a bulldog and kicks Daniels on the apron. Nick hits an X Factor and shows off the camera. So once he showed off the camera, you got Nick hitting a super kick on Daniels into the ring post. And Daniels gets busted open real bad. Really, really bad. When I mean he was busted open real bad, he was busted open like bad as a wolf. That's how bad his head was bleeding. It's like the size of my scratch on my hand. That's how bad he was bleeding. Collins hits a cutter and gets a near fall. Daniels is a bloody mess. Matt hits a buckle bomb on Cause. Cause gets a roll up for 2. Cause hits a Northern Light suplex on Nick and gets a 2 count on both men. Cause gets a roll up and the referee is distracted by Gallows. Cause hit the match. Cause had the match won. Almost, anyway. And then he hits a Styles Clash on Matt. Nick breaks up the pinfall. I was shocked that Cause hit the Styles Clash. Must have been an homage to AJ Styles or something. I don't know. Nick hits a right hand on Cause. Matt hits a super kick, then a pile driver. Daniels breaks up a pin fall. Daniels hits the Angle's wings. Matt hits a spear and right hands on the bloody face of Daniels. Daniels goes for the angle swings, but Matt escapes to hit a backdrop. Daniels is bleeding all over Matt's expensive shoes. Matt pretends to cry, shouts, "I'm sorry, I love you," and hits a super kick. Daniels kicks out of the pin at 2. Daniels goes for the BME. It fails the first time, but hits it the second time. Nick saves the pin for Matt. Matt sprays Daniels with cold spray while the referee's back is turned. Daniels kicks out at 2. The Bucks hit the BTE trigger for the victory. And that was pretty much it. So before I give you all my thoughts on this AEW World Tag Team title match, here is my thoughts on the Cody Rhodes announcement. Here's my thoughts on the Cody Rhodes Double or Nothing announcement. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. I've said this on Twitter, and I'm going to say this on the review. Cody is one of the best talkers in the business. But this was 100% not good. This was a terrible promo from Cody Rhodes. Now, I know people are going to be mad at me because I'm saying this, but it's the truth. Even my YouTube Twitch moderator, Justin 21111, even said that this promo was awful. It was terrible, man. I actually had a chat with Justin about that. It was terrible. I told him how terrible it was, man. It was rambling, oftentimes lacked direction, but ended emphatically with the return of his late father's nickname. Unfortunately, the feud with Anthony Ogogo. Yeah, Anthony Ogogo. Why did they give him that last name? I don't. It is not one befitting that occasion, and using it will not elevate the significance of what is otherwise a mid-card feud at best. Now, it is disappointing too, because Rose using the American Dream nickname really could have meant a ton to be a better, more significant program. That's what's disappointing about it. Well, there's my thoughts on that. My thoughts on the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The ending moments of the segment demonstrated a key difference between AEW and WWE. Vince McMahon would have let fans invest in the emotional conclusion of SCU. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm believing that 1 second. They would have focused on the split. I think if SCU would have been brought to the WWE, if SCU would have signed to WWE, Vince and Bruce would immediately waste them and bury them on television. So there's no way I'm believing this. Now, they would have focused on the split, really milked the emotion of it, because at its best, pro wrestling illicks emotion. Now, that is sometimes AEW and its production team will discover as it grows and evolves as a company. Now, as far as the match goes, folks, honestly, what can I say? It was every bit as good as you would expect. It was incredibly dramatic. Man, that's the word, dramatic. It's incredibly dramatic, even as you expected the Bucks to retain. Daniel's bleeding might not have been necessary, but it defiantly drummed up sympathy for him and his partner, and more importantly, made the Bucks that much hateable. And that was the goal. Now the Bucks have introduced the wholly unlikable side of themselves. And what better way to further escalate the audience's destined for them than by having them bring about the end of a beloved tandem that served as pillars for the tag team division. Now, it worked in the inevitable showdown with Moxley and Kingston and Double or Nothing. Should be a red hot fight as a result. So we got the recap during the break. They hug in the middle of the ring. Dasha is standing with Christian Cage. Cage says Taz critiques aren't worth much. He says next week Cage will be standing in the middle of the ring and Taz can send any member of his team to face him. And says he will win the Casino Battle Royal and get a title shot. Matt Sydal says he will win the Casino Battle Royal. Cage makes fun of Sydal falling in last year's Casino Battle Royal. Sydal says he will answer Cage's challenge next week. Orange Cassidy makes his entrance accompanied by the best friends. Pac is out next, accompanied by Death Triangle. So we got Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Orange takes off his sunglasses and puts them on Pac. Pac snaps the sunglasses in half. Orange hits Beach Break for a 2 count right off the bat. Orange puts his hands in his pocket and hits a suicide dive. Puts on a backup pair of sunglasses. Pac thrown into the barricade. Pac hits a knee to the midsection. And then Pac is thrown into the barricade. So we got Orange throwing Pac into the crowd. And then we got Pac hitting an uppercut on the barricade, knees to the face, a stomp to the back of the head in the ring. And then he hits a front suplex. And then Orange thrown into the corner. And then he throws Orange out of the ring. So then Orange then gets thrown into the barricade. And again, back in the ring, Pac hits stomps, driving hit knees into Orange's face. Pac hits a shotgun drop kick. And then we got Pac hitting another shotgun drop kick and another shotgun drop kick to the back. Orange kicks out at 2. And then we got Pac arguing with the referee. Pac goes to the top, but Orange rolls out of the way. In the opposite corner, Pac goes to the top again. Orange rolls out the way again and gives Pac the thumbs up. Orange gets a roll up for a 2 count. Pac hits a thrust kick. And then we got Pac hitting a Liger bomb for a 2 count. Orange rolls out the ring. Pac tells the referee to count him out. Orange gets into the ring. Pac goes for a cover and gets a 2. So then we got Pac locking in a side headlock. Elbow to the back of the head with the boot in the corner, focusing on the throat. Doctor checks on Orange while Pac poses. Callis comes out and says they need to know they want a winner. Omega sneaks in and hits Pac with the belt from behind. There is a double down. Both men can't answer the count of 10. So we got a count out. Callis and Omega says they are going to have the night off at Double or Nothing. Schiavone interrupts and says he has just been informed at Double or Nothing there will be a title match. It will be a 3-way match between Omega, Pac, and Orange Cassidy. Omega throws a hissy fit and leaves. The Good Brothers and the Bucks freak out over their trashed locker room. The Bucks brag about retiring SCU. Next week, they will face the Varsity Blondes. Matt asks if Moxley and Kingston are busy at Double or Nothing. They are invited to a super cake party. So we had a commercial break. We had a commercial break. Back live. Marvis is with Hangman Page in the Dark Order. Page says Cage should leave Team Taz and face him one-on-one. It will happen at Double or Nothing. Now, my thoughts on the world title eliminator match. Honestly, folks, it was clear that after the Liger Bomb that Cassidy was out. It was clear. Now, he didn't move for much of the rest of the match. And everything after that move felt like an audible on the fly. It is unfortunate, too, because Cassidy and Pac were setting up for a hell of a match before that spot and probably would have delivered one of the best Dynamite matches in some time. Especially if their Revolution 2020 match is any indication. Now, the idea of a three-way at Double or Nothing is super appealing because it is a setting we have not seen the world title defended in often. If at all, Cassidy and Pac already have incredible in-ring chemistry. Add Omega to the mix, and there is no reason to believe they will not have a legitimate match of the year candidate. That is if Cassidy is okay. Hopefully. He is, because that powerbomb looked rough. It did. MJF and the Pinnacle make their entrance. MJF is flanked by a lady on each arm. MJF is wearing a crown. MJF says he took Jericho's crown in the spot. Now he is the demo god. They should refer to him as the greatest of all time. Everybody should bow to the Pinnacle. Dynamite ranked 1 on cable last week, and we should thank the Pinnacle for that. Why would Inner Circle want a rematch? MJF says no to a rematch. He says no to a rematch. Blanchard said this group has taken everything the Inner Circle could dish out. Inner Circle quit. The Pinnacle deserve the finest thing. They have the finest looking women in the city. Gives all the Pinnacle expensive watches. That is what the Pinnacle is all about. They are on top of the world looking down at everybody else. Honking sounds interrupt. It's the Inner Circle, a truck, and they drive to ringside. MJF says they will never see Jericho again. The Inner Circle is dead. Jericho pops up out the truck. His arm is in a cast. Jericho asks for a rematch. MJF says no. Sammy shoots a water cannon at the ring, soaking all of the Pinnacle. MJF humiliated and says they will have their rematch at Double or Nothing in the stadium. Stephanie. If the Inner Circle lose, they have to break up forever. I think Double or Nothing is going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. I think. I don't know. I think it is. So that's fine. I think that's where the matches are. That's where the show's going to be. That's where the pay-per-view is going to be, in my opinion. We got a commercial break. JR sat down with Britt Baker earlier today. Britt says She has been the baddest bitch on the block since Sheeta broke her nose. The monster Sheeta created will be the one to destroy her. Baker says there will be a new champion. Sheeta kept the division alive for a year, but Baker is the face, the heart, the soul, the pulse of the division. At Double or Nothing, the division will live on its own when Baker becomes the champion. Thunder Rosa makes her entrance. Jazmin and Allure is already in the ring. So, before we go over what went down with the match between Thunder Rosa and Jazmin and Allure, here's my thoughts on this Pinnacle Coronation, or whatever you want to call it. Now, honestly, the beer truck, really? What? I mean, what is this? I didn't understand this. What is all this? I don't get it. Anyway, folks, not only did that feel like a Atlantic ripoff, but even as 90% of pro wrestling is a ripoff of successful angles, it felt cheaply done. Add to it the fact that Jericho basically shook off his huge fall last week to come back here with only an arm brace, and you have a couple questionable creative decisions. And on top of that, the segment felt like it dragged on, and considering it was only a few minutes, that is not necessarily a good thing. Stadium Stampede was a nice addition to last year's Double or Nothing because it was a nice change of pace amid the uncertainty of the COVID pandemic. Now it feels shoehorned into a feud that really should have ended with last week's Blood and Guts. Now, why should anyone care? Why should anyone care about the split up stipulation when we just saw SCU break up? Only for their goodbye after years of teaming to be shoved aside like it meant nothing. Right? Now, moving on to Thunder Rosa versus Jazmin Allure. So we got Rosa with strikes to start, shoulder tackles in the corner, chops by Rosa. Rosa hits a shotgun drop kick. Rosa with a body slam. Then we got a senton for a 2 count. Rosa hits a shoulder breaker into the fire, Thunder Driver for the victory. And that was pretty much it. Now, let me remind you all that Thunder Rosa remains number 2 ranked competitor, despite, cleanly and effectively defeating the number 1 contender in a much publicized match back in St. Patrick's Day. Back on St. Patrick's Day. But who's counting or even paying attention to the overall rankings at this point, especially if they fly in the face of creative plans? Now, this was a squash match, nothing more, and served little more purpose than reminding people that Rosa is still associated with AEW, no matter how loosely. So that's it. That's just it, folks. Commentary runs down next week's card. Double or Nothing's card. So we got the main event, Darby Allin versus Miro for the TNT Championship. And honestly, folks, I'm surprised that this match didn't last long. I'm surprised about this. This match didn't last long even though it was still a good match. It was still a good time match. You know, they didn't last that long. So we got Miro hitting the Munchka kick and getting a 2 count. On the outside, Darby hits a drop kick. Darby goes for the stunner. Miro blocks but gets thrown into the ring post. Sorry, my eyes bothering me. Darby hits a suicide dive, then the coffin drop. And then Miro catches him and hits a belly to back suplex on the outside. Miro goes for a cover for a 2 count. Sky and Page attack Sting on the outside. Sky and Page run away. Miro hits a kick to the back. Darby hits a forearm to Miro. Shots to the midsection. Miro throws Darby into the corner. Darby is out on his feet. Miro hits an uppercut, elbow drop to Darby. Miro drags Darby to the apron and continues to work on the injured arm. Miro hits an elbow to the leg, and then he hits a gut wrench suplex, then goes into a bear hug. Darby gets to the ropes. Miro pulls them to the middle of the ring. Darby gets a sleeper. Miro fades but gets to the ropes. And then Darby hits strikes across the face and locks in another sleeper. Miro grabs the belt. The referee takes it away. Miro drives Darby into the steel wall. Back in the ring, Miro works on the arm. Miro throws Darby into the ropes, and then Darby looks to Sting. A fist bump. Darby slaps Miro to no effect. And then we got Darby hitting the stunner inside Cradle for a 2 count, and another stunner on Miro. Miro. Once he hits another stunner, Miro catches the coffin drop, and Darby flips out of a suplex. Darby hits Code Red for a 2 count, and then Miro locks in game over. The referee calls. So it was the winner and new TNT champion, Miro. I think this was the right call to put the title on Miro. Now, if there was a time to take the title off Allin, this was it. This was definitely it. There were protections in place, stemming from the hellish bump he took down the steps, and a 16-match win streak that, if broken, would do wonders for the star who did so. More importantly, Miro was finally hot enough to warrant the title victory. After a clunky start to his AEW career, he finally embraced the dominant badass persona most experienced from himself earlier and rode it all the way to the second most coveted title in the company. Now, it appears as though a date with the Murder Hawk monster Archer might be on the horizon. Considering Archer has been hanging around the title picture for a while, almost waiting for a heel to win it so he can swap in and challenge for the gold, it feels right, even if it results in another big match loss for the former New Japan Pro Wrestling star. As for Sky and Page's constant attacks of Allin and Sting, expect a tag match come double or nothing to pay off their interactions. Folks, that's going to do it for your May the 12th 2021 AEW Dynamite review. If you enjoyed this review, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. I appreciate y'all joining me for the review, man. Now, I will be tweeting out the review. I will be tweeting out the link to the review again, tweeting out with a comment saying, if you missed the review, just check it out, give it a like. So, thank you for joining me, folks. I'm getting out of here. Peace. I will see you all on Jump Force tomorrow afternoon. Be in the live chat for that because I'm going to be redoing all my missions, trying to level up my created character and all the other characters on the game. Peace. See you guys later.